So sitting on this trailer right here is my dream car that I just bought for an insanely cheap price. This is a 1972 Citroën DS21. Now you may be saying, it's rough, and it is. If you look at this panel here, it's all bent up and it's all rotted out around the lights. Luckily, come over here, we got a new one of those. Right there. Now, it's not brand new, but it should work for this application. Now, you may say, oh, the trunk lid's pretty rusty. I mean, look at all these holes in the trunk lid. And look how saggy and bent it is. Well, got a brand new trunk lid. Now, I'm not going to be putting the brand new trunk lid on. I'm just going to be bracing this one because it would not go with the rest of the car. See, if we look at this car, we see kind of rusty patina, and then brand new trunk lid would not work. So, I'm going to leave that like that. I'm just going to brace it with some wood. It is not very nice in there. I don't know if that frame is supposed to come all the way back. If it is, I have to do some major welding to that. The trunk is actually an okay size. It needs a new floor. I don't know if that frame is supposed to be attached. I'm going to attach it anyway, even if it's not. So there's going to be some major welding needing to be done there. It's a DS21, which means it has the 2.1 liter inline 4. Now that we have the hood up, and I have to say, before talking about the engine, this hood is massive. This has to be at least 6 or 6.5 feet long. Probably the largest aluminum body panel ever stamped for any car. But here's the motor. It's a 2.1 liter 4-cylinder. I don't know how much horsepower it makes. I just got this thing home, but I think it makes around 100 maybe. I might be being generous there, but probably around 100 horsepower. I don't know if it's an all-aluminum engine. I think it is. I know it's aluminum head, because if we come over here, let me get around this trailer part. If we come over here, we can see, okay, so I think it's just an aluminum head engine, because you can see the aluminum head, and then the block appears to be iron. So that's where that is. 4-cylinder, I really like that design with the red spark plugs and the number stamped where they go. It's really nice. As we can see, it's very scary under here, though, because we're missing a lot of parts. We're missing the radiator. We're missing the radiator shroud that goes to there. We're missing the spare tire. If we come over here, we're missing the little accumulator for the suspension that's on that side. But we have all of that in that big pile of parts over there that came with the car. All this stuff was stuffed in the car, by the way, so that was fun taking it out. We can see we have actually 2 of these accumulators. We have 6 hubcaps. We have 5, I don't know how big these jugs are. Let me see. How big are these jugs? 0.264 gallon jugs of LHM fluid. We got 5 of those. We got a new starter because I'm not sure if you saw under here, the starter is completely destroyed. So we got a new starter. We have the air filter. We have the radiator. We have the radiator shroud. We have a new bumper. We have everything we need to go with this car, which is incredible. We have the spare tire that sits under the hood way up at the front. I'm not sure where the battery goes yet. I'm not going to put this battery in, but I'm just going to say, look how old that battery is. It's a Sears battery. I don't even know if Sears is still in business anymore. Inside, let me climb in through the window, Dukes of Hazzard style. So, inside this thing, oh, that was really hard. It is kind of rough. We have about 1.5 inches of foam on the floor, but mice appear to have eaten the foam around here. The carpet is basically gone because it got sucked up by the vacuum. I don't know if I have any pictures. If I do, I'll put them in the video, but it was pretty eaten up when I got it, or when I looked at it. It was filled with stuff. You couldn't see anything. So what I did was I just cleaned everything out literally like half an hour ago. The seats, they're actually in better shape than I thought they were. The rears are actually in really okay shape. They're just kind of crushed because of all the stuff that's been in here since 1987. If we fold that down, that needs some lubricant. It's really nice, actually. So, that's good. The front seats, as ripped up as they are, this is still the most comfortable car I've ever sat in. These seats are incredibly comfortable. The dashboard, it's rusty but not rotted out. The steering wheel, All the insulation appears to have rusted off of it, but it's there. Citroën one-spoke steering wheel. This has the Citromatic transmission, which is like an automated manual. So there's no clutch pedal down there. There's just that brake button there, and behind that piece of carpeting, there's the very skinny gas pedal. But the brake button controls your brakes. That's your emergency brake over there. But this is like basically a 4-speed manual, but it's all hydraulically driven, which is weird. It's all driven by those accumulators, I think. And it's somehow the car works itself out when you try to do that. I'm very worried that's going to be a big issue with me having this. Other than that, the condition of the car, I wouldn't say it's completely poor condition. It's on the poor side of fixable. All the rust that's really in it is in that portion in the back there. We got a little bit in the front, and we got this one hole in the floor. But other than that, that's it, really. The interior door handles are stuck. I actually don't know how these work. Do you push them out or pull them in? I don't know how these buttons work. But usually, since we're stuck with the trailer anyway, you can't really open the door because of the trailer. Now let's get out Dukes of Hazzard style again and take a look at this roof. Fiberglass. It is not metal like the rest of the car. This is fiberglass. And another thing, why is the hood aluminum but not the rest of the car? Now, my idea for that is because this hood is massive, and it would be, it would be extremely heavy if it weren't aluminum. That's my thing. Antenna is up. This moves around aimlessly. But it's actually a very fixable car. I mean, you've got all the parts to fix it. It's basically all there. Looks like we've had a bit of a damage issue in the rear, because this is all bent, but that was probably from loading and unloading it. Lights are really nice. This is a very nice car, actually. Now, you might not believe what I actually paid for this thing. It was very cheap for one of these. It was not as cheap as the NSU Prinz, which was a $45 car. It was actually 10 times that price at $450. $450 for this beautiful French piece of artwork, basically, that I'm hoping I can get running and driving. I want to fix all the hydropneumatic stuff. I got some of these suspension accumulators here. This one appears to be brand new because it's got the cap on it. But, yeah, I just want to fix this car up. Not completely restore it, just fix it. I want to keep it looking like this. I want it to be a survivor car, driving around, and I want to get that hydromatic working, the Citromatic hydro-assisted transmission. I want to get that working, and once I do that, this car will be a real goddess.